Hi guys, this is Tim and Simeon from Swedish Homestead. Today we want to show you a trick that you can use to cut a tree stump without jamming up your saw. Stay tuned, we will explain what we mean. So the other day I was searching on the internet for a term in English in chainsaw use, and I came to a forum where people, especially arborists, were exchanging thoughts on how people or how arborists cut down a tree stump once the tree is cut down and there's a big tree and a heavy tree stump left without jamming up the saw bar into that tree stump. And there is a trick you can use, and I didn't see the people talking about that, and so I thought my brother, who is the arborist, that he could show us what this is all about. Now, we have a fairly small tree stump here, and this is not where you would use this technique, but we just want to show you in principle what this is all about. So Tim, why don't you explain a little bit what it is we want to show?
Yeah, like Simeon said, we want to demonstrate a technique you can use to cut down a pretty large stump that is both big in diameter and also tall, basically heavy, where you can cut it lower down to the ground without your saw bar getting pinched by the weight of it and without having to use any wedges to make up for the pinching effect.
Yeah. We will show you a little more, explain once we've done it, what we mean by this, but what he is going to demonstrate now, it is not a technique for cutting down a tree in any way. It is, like you said, a tree stump that is big in diameter that was remaining after a big tree takedown, for example. That's what we want to show you, but the trick is really cool, really simple. Once you see it, you will wonder why don't people use that all the time. But let me film my brother while he demonstrates this for us.
We will use the top of our saw bar to make this cut, and we will put it in at least 2/3. But say my saw bar would be longer, I would not want it to come out on the other side because it's going to ruin the whole effect. What we're trying to get here is a cushion of saw chips or sawdust that the stump will rest on. And if my saw bar was to come out on the other side of the stump, it would shoot them right out and there wouldn't be anything there to create this cushion. But if I put it in at least 2/3 to make sure that nothing is left in the center that's not being cut, then they will just build up in here. If I was to use the bottom of my saw bar, I would pull all the wood chips out and there wouldn't be any material in there either to build this cushion. So you'll understand better when you see it done here. So I cut it off completely, and now as I lift it up you should be able to see this cushion I was talking about of packed saw chips or sawdust or what you call it. So as you can see now, as we move the stump away, we have these wood chips here and you can see how they're nice and tightly packed. Like how they move in a whole layer, and that's what that gives enough support for the stump to rest on without pinching your saw blade or your saw bar. And as a guideline, I would say that you should only use this technique if once you're done cutting, the piece on top will securely stay there in place by itself. You should never use it if there's a pretty tall log that you're cutting, or with any branches or the top even attached to it, or a whole tree. You should only use it for a compact but heavy section of wood, and only to avoid pinching your saw bar underneath.
So that's it. We hope you enjoyed this, a little demonstration. Maybe you will be able to use this someday if you cut down a bigger tree stump like this. And make sure to subscribe to our channel. Make sure to check out all the other forestry videos that we have already. We are right now working on a few videos demonstrating our firewood cutting and our sawmilling. So check that out if you want to.